Hey, what up, Long Beach? Welcome back to the 562.org. It's Eli, and this high school boys baseball video is brought to you by the fine folks at Naples Rib Company. All of our Wilson coverage this year is sponsored by Joel Batonio. All of our Lakewood coverage this year is sponsored by JP Crawford. And all of our baseball coverage this year is sponsored by Tribe Athletics. Thank you to all of our sponsors. One last time here at Bowl Diamond at Blair Field, why not? We have our final doubleheader of Moore League Baseball. It's Wilson and Lakewood. Wilson's Benny Howard on the mound trying to secure that second place spot for him and the Bruins. Meanwhile, for Lakewood, a win, a coin flip, and a little bit of help could have them sneaking into that second place spot. The Lancers is going to be counting with Aiden DeStuart to Wilson's Benny Howard. However, the Bruins quick to find base runners as leadoff man Taylor Kirk going to reach first off of the Lakewood air. Then, one at bat later, Andreas Molinar going to single up the middle to put two on with just one down here in the first inning. And yet again, another mistake by Wilson. And just like that, the Bruins are on the board. Captain Kirk comes home on a wild pitch to open up the scoring in this one as Wilson's up by one. But Aiden DeStuart going to rely on that defense with the pop-up to minimize the damage in the first inning. Through half of a frame, Wilson leads by one early on. Per usual, Benny Howard going to get to work in the early innings with the strikeout looking here in the first. Lots of defense in this one as Howard also going to rely on his infield with a couple of really nice plays for groundouts as this one's going to head us into the third inning. Matthew Pappas going to reach second on a hit by pitch and a steal in this one before Aaron Mingo's next up at bat, and his single is going to find room to put runners at the corners as Pap is held up there at third base. And then yet again for those Lancers, a pitch gets loose and Wilson takes advantage. Lakewood really shooting themselves in the foot with the mistakes here as Wilson able to double their lead to 2-0 after the third inning. Plenty of defensive highlights for either team through the middle innings in this one as Pap going to make the throw from third base for the ground out. Then here it's Mingo stepping up from midfield for the flyout. Mingo really letting the lettuce loose on this play. Lakewood, plenty of those highlights as well though, as believe it or not, this is in the glove of Gavin Goontz, not off the ground. Then Joseph Dizon came in to relief pitch in the fourth inning and able to come up huge for the Lancers, ending the half inning with the strikeout. Fast forward to the top of the sixth, Mingo going to start a rally for the Bruins with the leadoff single. He's able to beat off the throw to first base. Then more mistakes for the Lancers as it's miscommunication in midfield. This one's going to allow Rudy Carlos to reach as it falls for him, and there's two on for the Bruins here in the sixth. Then I promise this is a different play, a different clip. Logan Smith able to pop up to the same exact area and the same exact result. More miscommunication for the Lancers as Mingo is sent to third base. Bases loaded. Owen Emmett is next up at bat and able to get the perfect thing the Bruins needed. The pop-up, the throw to home plate is late as Mingo is able to slide in for the score. Wilson just took advantage of each mistake Lakewood gave them as they're up 3-0 midway through the sixth. Dizon able to settle down later in the inning with the K looking as the Lancers head back to the dugout with just a few more chances to get things going on offense here. And again, no problem finding runners on as Andreas Roman gets on from the fielder's choice, but just unable to hit them around as you can't see the first out on this play. But the Wilson infield really just working throughout this one, able to get the double play to end out the sixth inning. Lakewood defense kept working in the top of the seventh before threatening again in the seventh as Noah Nunez wears one to load the bases after two singles. But Benny Howard, that's more like him as he gets another one looking to close out the game. This kid's had a couple of these complete game shutouts and is yet another one for him as Howard finished the game with 3 Ks and most importantly the dub. It's been a fun regular season here, but it's time for these teams to venture off into the CIF Southern Section playoffs starting next week, and we have a loaded playoff schedule coming to you next week. For coverage of this baseball and all things Long Beach sports, you're in the right spot, the562.org.